is, there are times when I have not been working, and there are times when I have been working. But on a daily basis, whether it's from a friend, a relative, or any source, nobody survives, especially now here in the city or in the village. Nobody survives when they are not getting anything. It is either your mom who will give you a coin, your relative, your friend. But as long as you're living on a daily basis, whether you are working or you're not working, you are able to get something.
Wow.
Yes.
Pastor Nana, we have seen that most of the youth in our country, Uganda, they spend the way they want. What could be the main issues to that? Whereby someone that he has said, someone can't afford to earn something in a day. Either your parents gives you money or your friend blesses you with something. But why is it that most of the youth, they're not having that mindset of saving and investing in something big in their lives?
Okay, I would say it's coming from how they were trained.
Oh yeah.
Especially where they grew up.
Okay.
Sometimes we need to understand that everybody comes from a family, comes from a home. And every troublemaker or anybody who's not really paying attention to their finances, because at the end of the day, if you are not paying attention to your finances and saving and investing right, you become a troublemaker. You end up trying to do things to get money. That is not lawful. So what I would say is, if it falls down to where they grew up and how they were trained. So if they were trained right, they would know that we have to save.
So you've spoken about that. So how should they develop a mindset of our culture of saving? How should they do that?
So for us to begin tackling that issue, number one, we have to introduce them to mentors.
Oh yes.
They have to give themselves to mentorship, because that is the only way that you can take out the mindset that they have. Because most of the youth today, especially in Africa, the spending budget is very high. People want to overspend due to their budgets. So the moment they get it today, they make some funny comments and then they want to overspend. So we have to introduce them to mentors who have good content, good advice, that they can change the mindset. Because if you really want to change them, if you really want to mentor them, the moment you have the content, the words that can change the mindset, because it begins with the mind. You can tell them everything that you want to tell them or give them all the strategies. But if the mindset is not changed, they will fall back the same way.
My other question goes to Pastor Julius. Someone asked a question: if a youth is spending more than 30% of his income or her income on rent, should he wait to invest?
30%
on the rent.
On the rent.
Yes.
Yes. As I come to that, in Africa, the youth, they love things which are not on their standard. If we could accept who we are, we wouldn't have spent more than we get or we receive. You realize that somebody who earns 10,000 shillings a day, Uganda shillings a day, they also want to eat in a restaurant where a gentleman who earns 100,000 a day eats. They are not comfortable sitting in a small restaurant and have something to eat. A chapat in a small kiosk is the same chapat in the other big restaurant. So the son or daughter of Uganda should understand, this is me. Accept yourself and know that this is not my level. At one point, I will be there. But if you see somebody who has already a company, money is coming in day and night, he has workers, they are working for him and for you. You're living by the grace of God. You're saying, God, today I don't know how it will end. But when you see them enter a certain restaurant, you also want to go there. We have now smart gadgets. You see somebody with a smartphone, you also want a smartphone.
We want tabs.
We want tabs.
Big ones.
Yes. Yes, I was speaking to one of my spiritual daughters. She said, Papa, I also need a smartphone. I said, why do you want it? You know, this and that, you know. But at their level, they're supposed to be having a button phone.
Oh my God.
They have to have one. Yeah, so one thing is, that, of course, we have a culture that Africans or Ugandans, we came out of a foundation that whatever comes our way is spent. I remember when we were young, mom could get food and say, this is for lunch and this is for supper. But if you get lunch and you eat all of it and you're not sure of supper, then you're bound to sleep hungry. So me, I think if you're earning, depending on your earning, actually everybody should spend depending on their earnings.
Their earning.
Yes, look at your earning and then spend depending on your earning. Then also another thing, that people work with money. Somebody has money, when the cash he has, all the money he has is within the pocket, they enter the city. I am telling you, even if you have a cultural behavior, you can't come with money in town and go back with it.
No.
Because whatever you see, you feel like
it.
buying. Even if you don't want to buy, there are people saying, please come and buy this, come and buy this. And eventually, because you have money, you will. Yes, so people are not comfortable keeping their money in the bank, maybe on mobile money, so kind of that. So before we even talk about that, we should see that people should know I shouldn't work with all the money if I am not going to, or I have no budget for it. So back to my point, the youth should spend depending on what they earn. If I earn 200 a month, then I should know I need to get a house of 70,000. Kind of that. If I can't find a house of 70,000, then I can work with my friend. I can get a friend of mine. I say, you know what, we have to survive the city. Let us rent together. That's what we first did. Yes, we're earning little money and we got friends like 3 brothers. Then we stay in the same house. We share the rent. When we begin to grow up or get some more money, then somebody can say, now I can stay alone, I can manage rent. But when you're spending more than what you earn, you're killing yourself. That's why you will see people stealing, running away with people's property, and so on and so forth.
All right, before we go into a quick commercial break, in 1 second or in 1 minute, a youth may think of coming up with a business, but how can he or she be able to come up with a business idea? Because they might sell, and yet someone comes up with a business from nowhere, and the business collapses, and the money he or she has invested in is wasted.
Okay, what I would say is it's not only about starting a business. Because normally we think that starting a business is a breakthrough. Because for me, coming from where I'm coming from and being through different territories, I've understood something that we don't really pay attention to what God wants us to do.
Oh yes, oh yes.
If maybe God is saying you should start a business, that is fine. But if you have not been told about that particular business, I don't think it's right for you to venture there. So I've been talking about something called divine revelation, whereby you know that this business that you are venturing into is the will of God. Because it looks as if we have a system in this generation whereby when people want to get into the issue of finance and business, they don't want to include God. As long as they are doing anything to get money, they don't want to include God. And they make a statement that it's my life, it's my money. But that's the reason why we have people succeeding in things that they are not even called to be succeeding in. So if you want to start a business, the first thing that I would say is the foundation. In the beginning, God. Is God saying you should start that kind of business? That's how I think that we should begin from there. And then the second thing is, after you have gone to the foundation in the beginning, God, the second thing is seeking mentorship. I keep saying that because with the other point that I made, I said everybody comes from a home, but the moment they are growing up and they don't have good mentors, parents are the first mentors of every child. So if a child cannot save, you have to look at how their parents are living. What are they hearing from their parents? What are they seeing from their parents? So it's like a train. A child will just move the way the parent is moving. So the moment he's moving elsewhere and the parent's hand is not in it, then it calls for maybe social attention or community attention. So one is the foundation is God. The second foundation is expose them to mentorship, whereby